So before we talk about the fundamental ideas behind Ethereum and cryptocurrency, perhaps it'd be nice to talk about the origin story of Bitcoin
Mm,
and the mystery of Satoshi Nakamoto.
mm,
You gave a talk that started with sort of asking the question, what did Satoshi Nakamoto actually invent?
mhm.
Maybe you could say, who is Satoshi Nakamoto and what did he invent?
Sure. So Satoshi Nakamoto is the name by which we know the person who originally came up with Bitcoin. So the reason why I say the name by which we know is that this is a anonymous fellow who has shown himself to us only over the internet, just by first publishing the white paper for Bitcoin, then releasing the original source code for Bitcoin, and then talking to the very early Bitcoin community on Bitcoin forums and of interacting with them and helping the project along for a couple of years. And then at some point in late 2010 to early 2011, he disappeared. So Bitcoin is a fairly unique project in how it has this kind of mythical, kind of quasi-godlike founder who just kind of popped in, did the thing, and kind of disappeared, and we've somehow just never heard from him again.
So in 2008 was so the white paper was the first. Do you know if the
Yes,
white paper was the first time the name will actually appear, Satoshi
I
Nakamoto?
believe so.
So how is it possible
Mm.
that the creator of such a impactful project remains anonymous?
That's a tough question, and
There's no similarity to it in history of technology, as far as I'm aware.
yeah. So one possibility is that it's Hal Finney, because Hal Finney was kind of also active in the Bitcoin community, and as Hal Finney in those beginning years, and Hal,
Who
of
is Hal
course.
Finney? Maybe you could say.
He is one of the people in the end of early cypherpunk community. He was
So he's a computer scientist, just
yeah,
one of the.
computer scientists, cryptographers, people interested in technology, internet freedom, like those kinds of topics.
Was it correct that I read that he seemed to have been involved in either the earliest or the first transaction of Bitcoin?
Yes. The first transaction of Bitcoin was between Satoshi and Hal Finney.
Do you think he knew who Satoshi was? If he
If he
was
wasn't
Satoshi,
Satoshi, probably no.
how is it possible to work so closely with people and nevertheless not know anything about their fundamental identity? Is this like a natural sort of characteristic of the internet?
Hmm.
Like if we were to think about it, because you and I just met now,
Mm-hmm.
there's a depth of knowledge that we now have about each other that's like physical. Like
This is
my
true.
vision system is able to recognize you. I
Mm-hmm.
can also verify your identity of uniqueness. Like
Yeah,
this,
that's
like it's very hard to fake you being you. So
yes.
the internet, the internet has a fundamentally different quality to it, which is just fascinating. Can you maybe
Yeah, no, this
talk to
is
that?
definitely interesting as I definitely just know a lot of people just by their internet handles.
Yeah.
And like, to me, when I think of them, like I see their internet handles, and one of them has a kind of profile picture as this kind of face that's kind of not quite human with a bunch of kind of psychedelic colors in it. And when I visualize him, like I just visualize that.
That, not an actual face.
Yeah.
You are the creator of the second, well, at least currently the second most popular cryptocurrency,
Mhm.
Ethereum. So on this topic, if we just stick on Satoshi Nakamoto for a little bit longer,
Mhm.
you may be the most qualified person to speak to the psychology of this anonymity that we're talking about.
Mhm.
Like your identity is known, like
Yes.
I've just verified it, but from your perspective, what are the benefits in creating a cryptocurrency and then remaining anonymous? Like if it can psychoanalyze
Mhm.
Satoshi Nakamoto, is there something interesting there? Or is it
It
just a
def
peculiar quirk of him?
it definitely helps create this kind of image of this kind of neutral thing that doesn't belong to anyone. That you created a
Okay.
project, And because you're anonymous and because you also disappear, or as unfortunately happened to Hal Finney, if that is him, he ended up, I think, dying of Lou Gehrig's disease, and he's in a cryogenic freezer now. But like, if you pop in and you create it and you're gone, and all that's remaining of that whole process is the thing itself, then like no one can go and try to and if interpret any of your other behavior and try to understand like, oh, this person wrote this thing in some essay at age 16 where he expressed particular opinions about democracy, and so because of that this project is a statement that's trying to do this specific thing. Like, instead it creates this environment where the thing is what you make of it.